these verses in this section of the Bhagavatam require our deep contemplation and consideration. As we explained yesterday, Maharaj Nimi has asked a question to the Navayogendras. How does Maya work? How are we being bewildered? Because Maharaj Nimi is a Krishna Bhakta, and he's speaking to Krishna Bhaktas. You can expect that the answer has to involve Krishna. In other words, in the ultimate reality, there is no question of liberation not linking with service to Krishna. Any idea that there can be freedom from material existence without engaging in Krishna service is illusory. That's why Lord Brahma himself explained, Jainye Ramaduksha Vamuktamaninas Tvayashtabhava Avashuddha Buddhaya. Vamuktamaninas. You imagine yourself to be liberated by coming up with some ultimate goal other than Krishna's service. You imagine you're free from illusion by struggling to analyze the material world, and you come to the conclusion that material life is suffering, and you think that's it, you've attained the ultimate. But Lord Brahma explains, you still have a contamination. Even after so much struggling with your intelligence to pierce through the illusion, you still have the contamination in which you are rebelling against Krishna's service. Therefore, Aruya Krishna, after so much struggling, still your result is naught. You don't escape the clutches of material energy permanently. You get a temporary respite in the impersonal atmosphere. But because your desires aren't dealt with, you can't stay there. Patantyado. You fall down again. So Maharaj Nimi's question, how does the illusory energy entangle the conditioned soul? Let's look at that question again. Sri Rajovacha, the king, is asking, Parasya Vishnur Ishasya. Now we wish to learn about the illusory potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vishnu, which bewilders even great mystics. My lords, please speak to us about this subject. So even though he's the king, he considers the sages to be his lords. This is real government. Although Maharaj Nimi has spiritual realization, he considers himself to be an ordinary conditioned soul, and the sadhus to be his lords. So how does Maya operate? But there can be no answer to his question without explaining Krishna's service. Therefore, as you progress deeper into this chapter, you're going to see they start discussing directly Krishna. Once the mysticism, the magic show of Maya is explained, anything a devotee discusses always ends up in service to Krishna. What can we do? That is the ultimate reality. There's no question of freedom from material existence without engaging in devotional service. Of course, how many people really want to be free from material existence? Think about it. As Prabhupada explains in the first canto, Krishna is more eager for you to go back to Godhead than you are. He's in your heart waiting for you to develop the urge to return to Him. But very few persons want to take up that course of action. So what is it about the illusory energy that so bewilders everyone? You see, contact with the illusory energy makes you forget that you are the servant of Krishna. And instead, you become filled with thoughts of being the master of the material energy in some kind of way. There may be different varieties of this dream, but the dream is the same. I'll set myself up. I'll be secure, I'll be safe, I'll be happy. Things will work. Although Krishna doesn't explain this in Bhagavad Gita. Do you see anywhere in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says things will work by your setting yourself up in the material world to enjoy? The only place where Krishna mentions you can be somewhat happy in the material world is when he describes yajnas. Perform these yajnas and be happy in this world. But yajnas imply submission, subordination, recognizing that you are not the proprietor, you're not the enjoyer. The yajnas purify you. By your offering everything to the Lord in sacrifice, you realize, I'm not the enjoyer, I'm not the proprietor. So nowhere in Bhagavad Gita does Krishna say, you'll be happy just by setting up your own program in the material world. But this is what bugs us. We can't give it up. I'll make some arrangements. I'll be happy somehow. It is possible. Although Krishna says it's not possible. So this is our argument with Krishna. This is the rub. We want to set ourselves up in the material world to some degree to be happy and fulfilled and satisfied. And Krishna knows it's not possible. There is nothing fulfilling except Krishna's service. How many births will it take for us to understand that? Bhagavad Gita explains, Bahunam janmanamante jnanam prapadyate. After many, many births and deaths, the smart person, the metaphysical scholar, the Jnani, who's sorted out what is temporary, what is eternal, after many births and deaths, such a person realizes, actually, Krishna's service is all that there is.